Hey guys, how are you tonight? It's 9 o'clock on December 8th. And if you are able to join the event, you can either do it one of two ways. You can do it just via YouTube, and this link will be the same as the callback. So after this call goes live, you will actually be able to access it at any point. It will just be on my YouTube channel, and you can get it that way. And I've just created a playlist too, so I'm just going to put all of the team calls on that playlist. I'll be able to add them, and you'll be able to pick which ones you want to listen to. And I am just really excited because tonight is all about expanding your market. So in the last couple weeks, I have just heard from so many coaches that they are just struggling, right? Because it feels like they are constantly reaching out to the same people. They're hearing from the same people, and the same people are giving them the objections. So tonight, I just really wanted to create a sort of PowerPoint for you to give you guys some of the tips that I've used that have helped me kind of overcome not only objections, but the idea of that the market is saturated, which is completely not true. So that's sort of my goal for tonight. And the other thing I just wanted to tell you is you guys are freaking awesome. It is December 8th, and there is just no sign of slowing down. You know, I'm in the Max 30 test group with you all, with so many of you. And I gotta tell you, that energy just feels so good to be a part of this support and the connection. And it just is like this rejuvenation of, you know, why I started my journey as a coach, and just really how pumped I was when I first joined those challenge groups. And it's just making a difference in even how I'm running my groups. So tonight, I hope that my suggestions and my tips give you guys some great accountability and help you guys kind of meet your goals, whatever they might be for the month. So I'm just going to do a screen share, but just a reminder, if you are on the Google On Air app instead of just the YouTube Live, there's a group chat that's set up on the right-hand side. So you should be able to ask questions in that, and it should be able to come up that way. So we're going to go with that. And without further ado, I'm going to give a screen share, and we are going to take a look at the PowerPoint for tonight. All right, here we go. Okay, so I think it would be cool of me at all if I started this call without giving some super shout out. So this was as of last Wednesday, and I have to tell you, Stacy is on fire. And if you don't already know, this girl is all about Shanti, Max 30, T25, Insanity. She is a Shanti girl at heart. So she has already nailed down Success Club for the month of December was Success Club 8. And I haven't checked Success Club stats since last Thursday. So I am sure that quite a few of you have received more points, but I am just amazed that on the board as of last week, look at how many people are already well on their way to Success Club. You know, when I said there is no sign of slowing, you guys definitely are rocking this business. You are doing it. You are just crushing your goals this month. And a huge shout out as well goes out to some of our top producers this week. We have Michaeline Serqua, who hit 946 PV. Stacy is right behind her. Now, if you guys don't see the connection between Success Club and volume, wow, that is awesome, Stace. And then we have Sarah Corey and Stephanie Ebert and Cindy and Carissa not far behind. And Carissa has had quite a few weeks where she is just really on fire. And I'm just so proud of that girl. Lindsay Stover and Amber Dorsch also rocking it as well. So shout out to all of the top producers and the success superstars so far this December. I wanted to give you guys a couple of quick announcements. The first is, of course, your challenge pack specials. This month we have Max 30 on special for $180. It's usually going to be listed at $205, so your customers are going to save $25 by ordering it as a challenge pack this month. And when you hit Success Club 5, Beachbody is going to be sending you some free gifts. They're going to be sending you, I think it's like a band and some type of towel of some sort. So definitely cool swag. I've got to tell you that I really think Beachbody is nailing it with the incentives. I don't know about you, but between the books and the wear and share, I mean, they really are doing an amazing job and rewarding those coaches who hit Success Club. So just let me know that they at my house on Friday. I have general questions, or if I just know a quick bit of information, what is qualification, what is, hold on one second, I heard a beep. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. I'm sorry about that. If there's a qualification of some sort, or I have a question about Shakeology or an ingredient or whatever, the first place I always go to is just coachfaq.com. And they gave it a complete facelift, so to speak. So if you go onto that site tonight, you're probably going to notice that it's a little bit more user friendly. There's some drop down menus. So it's not as complicated as just searching, very weird words or something to find your answer. So Coach FAQ has a little bit of a facelift. Check it out and see what you think. The other thing that I wanted to tell you about tonight is January Super Saturday weekend. So I know I have it down as Super Saturday because that's the original title, but I have to give you a little spiel about everything that's going on in Pittsburgh. Now, if you are out of state or you can't make it into Pittsburgh, don't worry, because the Super Saturday events are held all over the country. You just need to go into your back office and you need to look under announcements, and there should be a tab called Super Saturday, and you should be able to find a location in your area that you can find out all the newest information. So in my opinion, these events are so important because they really light this fire. They tell you all about the newest products. They tell you all about, our new 2016 Success Club trip. It really helps really set the goals and expectations and the drive for a new year. So having these events quarterly just continues to drive and uplift you every quarter in your business. So there's no doubt in my mind that this particular Super Saturday is going to be one heck of an event. So it is being held, if you are in Pittsburgh, on Friday night at the Omni. The tickets for the event are already sold out. I know that if you go into Melanie's Dream Team, I have heard chatter of people that are selling their tickets or are no longer able to go. So you may still be able to get your hands on tickets for that event. But Carl Deichler and Autumn Calabrese are going to be there. It is going to just be one huge event. We're going to be celebrating Melanie as top coach. It's going to be awesome. So we decided, instead of just letting the fun end there, we're going to carry the events into the next days. So on Saturday morning, what we've decided to do is host a training for anyone in our downlines, in our organizations. It's going to be held at the Omni from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And it is going to be $10 charge. And you are going to be hearing the tips from some of the top Dream Team coaches. So you are going to hear from Alyssa Shoemaker and Deidre Penrose, myself, Kaylee Hennessy, Val, Marcia, I don't know her last name, Smuckra, I think, and Marlena Heaton, who are all Melanie's coaches and who are in the qualification for elite. So we decided that we would all take a topic that we feel pretty comfortable about and train you guys on it so that you can really the new year off right. But we're actually not ending the fun there. So that is in the morning. And then in the evening at 7 o'clock at, I believe, a location that is still in the works, there is going to be a Dream Team party. And it is going to start at 7 p.m. on January 10th. It is free for anyone that is in the Dream Team downline. So as a member of the Knockout Brigade, that applies to you. So you can bring a date. There's going to be cocktails and appetizers. It's just going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to just be a great way to celebrate everything that you've achieved in this year and how to really ring in the new year. So it is definitely something that I would love to have you be a part of, and it would just be fun to be around all you guys. So if you can make it, that would just be awesome. If you can get off work, that would be wonderful. So I look forward to seeing you there for those. All right, so the topic for this call came to me when I was at a Pens game the other night. So my husband and I, we went to a Pens game and we were in the arena, and you know, I was just thinking to myself after a phone call with a really frustrated coach, you know, I hear all the time, I don't have anyone else left to invite. There's no one else who wants to do it. Everybody has a coach. You know, all my newsfeed is Beachbody coaches. That's all I see everywhere. And I took a look around that arena, and I'm looking at all of the people who are there. And I thought to myself, I truly wonder how many of them are affiliated in some way with Beachbody. And then I took it a little further. How many of them need to be affiliated with Beachbody? How many of them would benefit from being a part of something like this? You know, here we are on our news feeds, and here we are in our computers and our social media. But how often do we go out there and find the people that are sitting right there just waiting for us to ask them? So I did a little research today, right? So Mary Kay is the cosmetic company that was founded in the 60s, and it does annually about $3.5 billion in sales. That's insane. That's crazy. But I never hear people talk about how there's way too many Mary Kay representatives, but yet there are 700,000 working consultants in Mary Kay. Let's compare that to Beachbody. Now, Team Beachbody and Beachbody combined are on the verge of being a billion-dollar company. They aren't there yet. They're very close. They probably will not hit it this year. But what's interesting is that there's 200,000 coaches, a little bit above, but most of them are just people who love the product. They aren't necessarily people who are working the business. So in that regard, we have to remember we have a job to do. Our job is to help people and to help people find a product and to help people find their goals and find their why and dig deeper and get results and live a healthier lifestyle. And we have all the tools to be able to do that. But sometimes our idea of having nobody left to ask or to invite, it doesn't cut it. It doesn't work because it's simply not true. So I'm going to ask you guys to have an honest start and to really, really think tonight. I'm going to ask you some questions, and they're right there. And there's no one that's going to pick your answers apart. There's no one that's going to see your answers. This is truly just an inventory for you. So I see in my business a lot of people that do give up, that say it's too hard, that say there's too many people, that say this is something that isn't working for me. But instead of saying that, before you ever get to that point, give yourself the invite inventory and ask yourself these honest questions. Number one, how often do I invite outside of social media? A lot of us have full-time jobs. A lot of us have demands on our plate, but how often do we actually go outside of our Facebook walls and the people that are in our social media and in our newsfeed and invite outside of that? The second question I invite you to answer is, what are my main sources of traffic? Meaning, where do I find most people? Do I find them through Facebook? Do I find them through Instagram? Do I have a blog? Or do I find them through my Fit Club? Number three, this is a tough one to answer because it's something that a lot of people go, maybe that is the missing piece, is am I consistent? Am I consistently inviting new people into the business or into my challenge groups? Am I consistently posting on my Facebook wall? Am I consistent with talking to people who are not necessarily on my social media newsfeed? Am I consistent about asking people about their whys and their goals? The next question, do I always ask for referrals? Whether you get a no or you get a yes, ask for referrals. And I'm going to dive into that a little bit more. But before we get into that, do you ask for them? If somebody says no to you, do you still say, okay, do you know anyone that might be interested? Another question for you. Am I confidently running challenge groups? Sometimes I know I've been in those groups and I've run those groups that are so slow to the end of 60 days. And you come away from them and think, oh my gosh, did anybody get results? That was like pulling teeth. But are you confidently running them, saying to yourself, I know this works. I know the product works. I know if they follow the meal plan, and I am giving myself 100%, an A+. I know that I am confidently running this group and I'm doing everything in my power as their coach to help them be successful. Would I be the coach that others would want? This is just an awesome question for you to reflect on. People have choices, and you probably aren't the only Beachbody coach in somebody's newsfeed, in somebody's life. But why are you the coach that they should want to invest their time in? Why are you the coach that others would want? Ask yourself that question. The last question I have for you is, do I talk it like I walk it? On the Knockout Brigade, I know so many of us have these amazing transformations. I know so many of us love Shanti. We love Autumn. We know the products work. I have seen your transformations, and man, they are awesome. So when I say this, are you screaming from the rooftops, holy cow, this stuff works? Or are you kind of on edge when you ask? Like already in your mind, somebody's going to give you a price objection. Somebody's going to say, I don't think it's for me. Are you walking it like you talk it? Are you really proud of the fact that you are a Beachbody coach? So let's take a next step into that. Well, why does confidence matter? Especially that last question I asked. Do you walk it like you talk it? So 2 questions, First of all, the best way that you can go about inviting people into your business is really to be confident in your business, is really to be confident in the fact that you are a successful coach. And sometimes that means you really have a pep talk with yourself in the mirror, and you say, you know what? I know that I am amazing at what I do. I know that I am amazing at what I offer. I know that these products work. I know without a doubt in my mind, if that challenger or that customer meets me halfway, I am going to help them get results. Here's the thing about the products that we offer. There's no guesswork about if they work. It's not, it might work, it could work, possibly, maybe. It's if you follow the meal plan, if you do the workouts that have a science behind them, you're going to get results. Confidence matters because you have to believe without any doubt that you can help the people you are inviting. You have to believe that they are going to be successful when they do the work. The rest is on them. But if you aren't being confident in your invite, it changes everything. If you put on that mask as if they're going to, you put on this guard that says, they might say no. I'm just going to put a guard up and say, I know it's really expensive, but I swear to you, it really, really works. That's not going to work. You have to own 100% that this is the best of the best, the cream of the crop. There is nothing that works better than this. And when your confidence shows, your sales increase. So there's two books that I am loving that I wanted to suggest to you. The first is called You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. And it is so much, and it is just one of those books that go, all right, I am a badass. I am really good. I got this. I can do this. I can be successful. I can make my goals happen. And it is just one of those books that I go to bed reading and I say, you know what? I got this. I really can do amazing things. And the other book that I always go back to is just The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And I know you guys have heard me talk about this book before. It truly has changed my business. And I still go back to it from time to time when there's something that I struggle with. So with confidence, right? You think to yourself, well, where can I find people? Here's what I want you to start thinking. All right, let's look at social media as one resource with lots of options. And here are some of the options that I came up with. You have Facebook. You have the option of doing a personal page and a like page. You have Instagram. You have Pinterest. You have a Blogger. You have the Team Beachbody forums. Now remember, a lot of people go onto the Beachbody website knowing that they, they are doing a program, but they aren't necessarily affiliated with a coach. You also have Twitter, you have LinkedIn, and you have meetup.com. I'm not necessarily going to go into specifics about each of these, but I really highly suggest that you have at least two of these media resources that you use comfortably and you are good at. You know that you are doing consistently. So whether it's Instagram and your Facebook personal page or Blogger and Pinterest, what are you doing consistently? Most of us run a Facebook personal page, but I highly suggest on top of that, you also run something else. So notice how I bundled social media into one resource with lots of options. This isn't the part we get stuck on. I've seen your posts, they rock. You guys are awesome and interesting and you have nailed it, but you can only go so far. Someone told me once that with your personal page, there's only about 10% of people that actually see your post. So if you are posting something and it could be really quality content, but it's not necessarily something somebody had in mind, or the words that you use didn't necessarily, have somebody interested in it, they might never see it. Even though they could be interested in it, they might not see it. So that's why it's so important to have more than just a personal page. So what is the other resource then that I'm talking about? Where are you going to find more people? Where are you going to find additional, customers? And here's the truth, guys. There has to be life outside of Facebook. That's the truth. If you are only working social media, you're going to get to a point where your warm market is gone. And you have to get out of social media. You have to move past it because social media is great. It's one great resource for you. And no matter how many social media sources you use, you still have to engage outside of it. And I know some of us are really introverted and this can be really, really hard for us. But nobody said that this job is easy. Nobody said that it's always going to be a walk in the park. It can be something that makes you uncomfortable. So I came up with a couple of good ideas for you that can help you engage outside of social media. But I just have to say, social media is great. But this is what I want you to start thinking of and having an honest conversation with yourself and say, do I do this enough? Do I truly invite outside of social media? Meaning, if I go outside of social media and engage outside of social media is the place where I can bring them back and let them get glimpses into my business. So here are some ideas for you. The first is host a fit club. I have heard so many coaches say, I'm thinking about it. I might do it. I look back at when I hosted a fit club when I first started. This was like a couple years ago. So it was probably 2.5 years ago when I first started. And I didn't have a lot of people that came to my fit club. I didn't have a lot of people that necessarily were banging down the doors to get there, but I did engage with people and I built connections. And even 2 years later, you know, I just had a coach who was in my fit club that just signed as a coach 2 years later, because I continued the relationship and I continued working with her outside of the fit club long after it stopped. But fit clubs are great. You know, they're a great form of advertising. They are a great way for you to connect with people. A lot of people do not use Facebook the way that we use Facebook. So they want to get out and interact with other people. They want to get out and they want to check out these videos. They might not really think that an at-home workout works for them. So if you can invite them to a fit club, that would be great. I know that Amanda Abercrombie runs a pretty successful fit club. I know that Kirsten Nuss has run a very successful fit club. Lexi also has. I don't know if she's started one. I know that Heather's running one out in Florida. So if you have questions about fit clubs, get into the Knockout Brigade, ask some questions, ask them what's working for them. What are some things that they struggled with? This is a great way for you to get started. And it's also a great way for you to connect back to that meetup.com site that I was telling you about, because that meetup.com allows people and invites people into where your fit club is being run. It might be a little bit of work on your part. It might be calling, you know, the fire hall, or it might be calling different, you know, people throughout the community to find out where you can host a fit club. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with hosting a fit club in your house. If you have the space and people want to check it out, it's a great opportunity for you. Engaging in play groups. There's tons of them throughout the country, no matter where you are. If you have kids, get yourself involved with mommy groups, play dates, whatever. And just while the kids are playing, you're able to talk to the different moms that are in these groups just about what you do. You know, if you're meeting at someone's house for a play group, bring a healthy appetizer or wear a shirt that has P90X on it or whatever. And just engage and start the relationships there outside of social media. Vendor fairs are another way to do this. I know Christina Abernathy just went to a vendor fair. She had cute little shakes set up. She had a great picture of it. Go into your newspaper or look online to local vendor fairs that are happening. If you get into months like February and March, they are everywhere. Bridal vendor fairs. Why wouldn't you? I mean, think about the people that you can meet who are all looking to, you know, get fit for their wedding dresses. This is a great opportunity for you to get your name out there, get some contacts, get some emails, so that you are able to really build up your business. Here's a little trick that I've used quite often. We go to the grocery store. I actually have my meal plan and I put it in the top part of my cart. I do this almost every time I go to the grocery store. I have my meal plan there and I have the blog of it, and it actually has become something where if it's sitting there, I see people kind of look at it and I just give them an extra copy of my meal plan. And I say, this is what I do. I just kind of meal plan. You know, I help my challengers. I run these closed groups on Facebook. You know, do you want a copy of my meal plan? And most times they say yes. They actually really want the meal plan. And I just ask them for their contact information. And it is very easy to do. It's the easiest way to kind of connect with people in the grocery store and also build your contacts. Neighborhood events, parties, school events, whatever. So in the busiest time of the year where we have so much going on, it is so easy to get yourself into those parties and those events and just talk to people, you know, bring that healthy appetizer to the party. Or, you know, if you're at a school event, have your shaker cup with your Shakeology in it. Just start talking to people and just start forming relationships with people and getting yourself to this point where it used to be uncomfortable talking to people outside of social media, but when you're actually at these events, it's not that uncomfortable anymore. Churches are often looking for people and people that might be interested in running fit clubs, you know, to have their members more active. Ask. I mean, sometimes it doesn't work and sometimes they say no, but why wouldn't you just ask? Why wouldn't you just say, you know what, on Tuesday nights, can we charge $5 for a fit club, and then we can donate it to the church? Or, this is a great way for, moms to get together, and maybe we could have childcare or something, while we're doing the workouts. Whatever it is, or however your approach is, there is always a way to make it work. The last one is actually even how I got started, and it was just a shake and share. So when I started as a coach, I basically said, I got these results with Insanity. My coach is telling me there's these online Facebook challenge groups, and we run them, and she's going to help me run them. Do you have any friends that might be interested? And what we did is, Stacy and I, we went over to her house. We had a bunch of healthy appetizers. We had Shakeology samples, and we did this really cool shake and share. And that night, I was able to get my first couple customers from the shake and share. And months after the shake and share, I was even still able to get customers from that original shake and share, because they had seen the results of their friends when they first weren't ready to invest. So the other thing I wanted to remind you is that apparel right now in the Teen Beachbody Mall store is free shipping this month. So it's a great opportunity if you don't have free swag, or I'm sorry, if you don't have swag and you want to check out like the new Max 30 clothes or whatever, they are in there, and it is free shipping this month. So these are some of the tips that I have for engaging outside of social media. All right, and then the last thing that I just wanted to talk to you about is referrals. So I noticed a change in my business when I started using the idea of referrals after every single invite. And I mean every single invite. So whether that person said no or yes, it didn't matter. So if somebody was going to be joining my challenge group, they were pumped, they were excited, I always ended with, this is awesome. I am so excited for you. I know we're going to really crush our results. We're going to get great results. By the way, do you have any friends that would love to join this with you, who would be interested in getting results too? Have you talked to any of your friends about, building some healthy habits? Wouldn't it be fun to do it together? And honestly, most of the time they say yes. And there's one or two friends that go along with them for the journey. That's easy to do, right? When somebody says yes. But do you also ask for referrals when somebody says no? Try it. A lot of times, even if they say no, I just end it with, that's fine. I have these ongoing challenge groups every month. Can I keep you in mind for next month? Can I let you know about the specials going on? In most cases, they say yes. I reconnect with them. We talk about the specials again. But in the meantime, I also say, and by the way, do you have any friends that you think might be interested in joining me and starting us some healthier habits before the new year, or, this month? And, sometimes they say no, or sometimes they say yes. But then I always ask, okay, can you check with your friends, and can I follow up with you on Tuesday or Wednesday, or, whatever day? But I ask them permission if I can follow up with them. And then I do follow up with them, and I give them a specific follow-up schedule. I tell them exactly when they can expect me to follow up with them, and they are basically finding the contacts for me. So if you have formed the relationship and you already have a connection with this person, and you already have let them know, you will let them know about the specials that are going on next month. Do not be afraid to invite other people or ask for those referrals. In most cases, if somebody has said no, they're going to feel pretty good about giving you a referral, because they might feel bad about saying no to you, because sometimes saying no is really hard for people. If you are a new coach, and this is what I did, is when I started, I actually created an email that I sent out to my close family and friends. And it was so basic. It was just, hey, you know, I'm starting this new adventure in health and fitness. I got to tell you a little bit about it. Mike and I have lost a combined of about 50 pounds, and I am just loving what I'm doing. I'm drinking this Shakeology every day. It's filled with all natural ingredients. I feel amazing. I have tons of energy, and I'm actually starting this online challenge group. Would you be interested in joining me? And I sent that email to my closest family and friends. And then I also asked for a referral at the end of the email. That was really what I did to start. But referrals compounded over time, consistently asked for over time, really have built my income and built my foundation of my business. And it's something that even now, 2.5 years into the business, I still rely heavily on for my business. The other thing I want to remind you of is you cannot give apologetic invites. Never start an invite with, hey, sorry to bother you. I don't know if this is really for you. I don't know if this is something that you'd be interested in. Really dive in and show your confidence. Know that you love the product. Preach about how awesome the product is. If your confidence is radiating from you about how much you love the product, it's going to be a heck of a lot easier to say yes to you, because they're going to believe and trust that something about what you're doing is working. So no unapologetic invites or apologetic invites. All right, so here's your call to action for tonight, guys. Here's what I'm going to suggest to you. You want to send purposeful invites, something specific to invite them to. So you're saying to yourself, oh my gosh, Katie, it's December. No one wants to join the challenge group. If you listen to the National Wake Up Call, Allie Upham nailed it with this amazing idea. She said she is just running a 10-day, I think she called it a 10-day challenge group. And there were just 5 things that the people had to do. And the one was just check in. 2 was provide a workout schedule that they have to follow for those 10 days. 3 was drink Shakeology. 4 was planned meals. They had to have at least 4 planned meals throughout the day. And 5 was to be an encourager within the group. And she had this awesome idea that instead of running this long challenge group that was starting now, it would be short, but it was kind of going to be a sneak peek into the challenge groups that she would be running in January. And I am loving, loving, loving this idea. But how great would that invite be for people so that they could see kind of how challenge groups are run, but they're also for 10 days really staying accountable and getting kind of a jump start into the holidays. You also want to talk about how it would benefit them. I know we talk a lot about Success Club, getting points and, you know, wanting to make sure we hit our goals. But remember, every invite has a purpose, and the purpose should always be beneficial to the customer, to the potential customer. So you really want to know when you're thinking about a program and you're thinking about Shakeology, you are building that relationship enough that you know exactly how it would benefit them. 3, are you revealing confidence? I think of a call, and I can't remember which one it was. It was a Zoom call we did a while ago where Michaeline was talking about, you know, before she would recruit coaches or talk to people or get ready to get on the phone for getting started right, she would stand in the mirror and she would basically be like, I've got this. I can do this. I am confident. This is a wonderful product. My team is awesome. I am awesome. And giving herself that pep talk, because you are. And when you're revealing confidence and you're showing confidence, people are just going to be like, that's awesome. I want a piece of whatever that is that she has. The other thing I want you to look into is in the back office under resources, I believe news and training. And then if you click on Coach Training Academy, there's a whole column called resources. I believe this is where it is. There is a PDF that's called Memory Jogger. So if you are saying to yourself, there is no one else that I can invite, I guarantee when you get out this Memory Jogger, you're going to be like, oh, there are a lot more people that I know that I thought that I haven't thought of in a while. And the last thing, if you aren't already doing this, and I know so many of you guys are, is you need a folder, create a folder that has an ongoing list of people. And you never get rid of the list, you just constantly add to it. And what ends up happening is if you have this ongoing list, sometimes you have little branches off of people's names who are helping you contact other people because you're asking for those referrals that I mentioned before. And the last thing, if this is something that you're struggling with, the invites, dive into a strategic personal development. If you're struggling with confidence, read something that's going to help you with your confidence. If you are struggling because you don't know how to word your invites, dive into some of the resources that are in the back office or go onto YouTube and look at some of the other top coaches in the organization and listen to some of their ideas about how you can invite other people. So I am going to go back to our screen and I am going to see if you guys have any questions for me. So I think you guys can see me again, right? So if you have questions, you can put them in the chat. But really, that's all I have for you tonight. So I just am so excited that you guys had an opportunity to dive into this and refer back to this call if it's something that you are struggling with. If it's an area that you feel like I really need help with my invites or who to talk to or who to invite to my next challenge group. Because when you are able to build your contact list, build your referrals, build outside of social media, your entire business has the potential to blow up. All right, guys, that is all I have for you on this Monday night. Let's rock this December. Let's really blow it out of the water. Max 30. We are going to work this business to the max. We are going to rock results to the max. And I hope you all have an awesome night. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys.